Here's to you, dear listeners, and welcome to Metal Gear Mondays, the most thorough Metal Gear and possibly Death Stranding podcast on the internet. My name is Sam Wright. I wavered in such a way because I almost forgot what my name was. Can you believe? We're here today to talk about more Death Stranding stuff in the run-up. We're getting very close now to Death Stranding's release date, but I can't do it by myself. I am joined this week by Mr. Cole Duncan.
Hello, listeners.
Hello, Cole.
Hello. Wow.
That's my impression of the listeners.
I'm still getting used to this whole like saying hi to an entire internet, so please bear with me.
Yeah, because when we do it, like you're saying hi like to nobody in particular, like me, I guess.
Right.
But like,
I mean, I can say hi to you, Sam. How are you doing, Sam?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm recording on a new laptop.
Rub it in.
Which
okay,
is good because
whatever.
the one that I was recording with before is like 8 years old and it's a piece of shit. And this one is only 6 months old and it's not a piece of shit.
Look at you, fancy boy.
Yeah. So I'm very happy about that, Cole. I really do want to get into to the Death Stranding discussion, but before we get into that, you've got a story to tell about why we're recording today as opposed to our normal day that we established.
I do. So for everyone that isn't me and Sam or Alessio, we were supposed to record on Monday, correct?
Yes.
And sorry, this week has been very crazy for your boy.
It's a very weird. As you are listening to this, we were supposed to record last Monday.
Yes. So I was simply watching videos and reading articles for the podcast, putting together a cabinet for my new apartment, when all of a sudden there was a frantic knocking at my door, and a
Would you
woman,
say it's like big emergency knock or like telltale heart knock?
Like big emergency or like, yo, you owe us money kind of knock.
Ooh, shit. It's like if you don't answer the door, we're gonna kick the fucking door down knock, like one of those.
Yeah. So I run to the door like screwdriver in hand, like I'm gonna do something with that, right? I saw it in The Last of Us for sure. It works, obviously.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah. So I run to the door and there's a woman on the other side and she's like, "Hey, your apartment's on fire." And I just kind of looked around and I was like, "No, it's not. What are you talking about? My apartment's on fire." No, I doubt that. And I was like, "No." Well, I was like, "What? No." And she's like, "No, look." And I stepped out my apartment and looked to my right, and the apartment set directly next to mine was engulfed in flames. And I was like, well, they're not connected to us, so we're good, right? There's just a bunch of dry trees around us. We're fine. And then she promptly corrected me and told me, no, actually, idiot, your apartment set is connected to that apartment set. You need to evacuate. So I had to leave my apartment, and as I was leaving, I met my neighbor for the first time, a guy named Hal. Hal, if you're listening to this, here's your shout out.
Hal, you say?
It is Hal, yeah. That's why I thought the same thing, I was like, oh man, I got a Nauticon next door. But Hal walked out, and I was like, are you guys good? And he's like, I'm good. And I was like, cool. By the way, my name's Cole. How are you? It was literally the first time I ever met this guy. So then, we ended up spending the next, I guess, 3 to 4 hours just standing around while the very, very amazing Chattanooga Fire Department promptly showed up. So really big thanks to all of them. And they controlled the fire, and then we had to go make statements. And so I called Sam and I was like, hey man, my apartment complex is burning down. Can we do this like, I don't know, a day later or two?
Well,
I might not have my recording equipment.
Well, so you were very optimistic originally that we were still going to be able to record on Monday.
Yeah.
But
it seemed like they had it all in control, and then a very, very like stern police officer walked up and was like, you guys need to move back. And I was like, that's not a good sign. That means all of my stuff is about to be gone. But luckily, it's not. I'm still in my apartment. I'm still good. We're all fine. Very, very tragic for the people who did lose everything. There were 2 people who did lose everything, and I'm very, very sad for them. Definitely. It was really cool because the community kind of rallied around and we all got to actually meet each other for the first time. I kind of made that joke up top about, meeting my next door neighbor for the first time, but it was the first time that a lot of us actually got to meet each other. And it was really, really cool, actually. And so we were all kind of saying, like, hey, if you need anything, if you need like a bed, if you need like a place to sleep for the night, we've got you. It's no problem. If you need food, if you need water, if you need clothes, that kind of thing. It was really, really endearing.
Yeah, that's super heartwarming, and it sucks that their whole situation got turned upside down. But it says something. It says something about a community making connections.
I see what you did there.
Building connections with other people.
Building.
We're never really alone.
Maybe a couple of chiral knots. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. Do they know what the cause was? Because I went to go see a professional wrestling show a couple of weeks ago, like about 2 weeks ago, and as the show was about to get started, the guy who was announcing the matches got interrupted by the fire alarm, and we had to go wait outside for 30 minutes. And it turns out that somebody was smoking weed in the bathroom. So, was it something like that, or was it more dramatic?
They haven't said, and I assume that's just for like legal reasons or for like we really can't say for sure because it was so crazy. To me it looked like it started inside of the apartment, but at the same time I was roused from watching Death Stranding videos and building a cabinet and walked outside to see a conflagration and a bunch of fire.
I bet you somebody smoking weed in the bathroom.
Probably. Who knows? I mean, they definitely could have been smoking that good loud, that good stuff. Good. Those left-handed, those left-handed cigarettes, as they were.
Wonder how many weeds those kids were injecting, eh?
Oh, all of those people doing the street drug known as marijuana.
Marijuana. So I mean that story, I think it's an entertaining story, and that's why I had him tell it. It doesn't affect you listening to this at all, but I think it's
I'm glad my tragedy was entertaining for you.
You're welcome. Well, it's not your tragedy. Your shit's fine. It's another person's tragedy. And tragedy plus time equals comedy. Is that how that goes?
Yeah,
I'm sure they probably feel that way.
Sure.
So on this episode, we're going to start discussing like theories about Death Stranding and kind of going into character discussions. But before we do that, it's been a long time since we've done this. I want to talk about the news. It's time for news. Death Stranding. Cole Duncan, we got news about Death Stranding.
We do have news about Death Stranding. Some pretty cool news, actually.
Lots of pretty cool news about Death Stranding. So the first things first is that as of September 26, 2019, Death Stranding is gold, baby.
Ooh, they're live. They are actually live. They're ready to go.
They're live, baby. If you don't know what going gold is, MGM splain for you here. It's basically when a game is complete and it's ready for mass production. That's basically all it is. And my favorite thing about when games go gold and developers post about the games going gold is that it's basically just like a CDR in like a fucking jewel case with like Sharpie.
It looked. I will say it looks like the kind of mixtapes you would make for your friends like back in high school. You're like, oh, this has got Blink 182 and like, yo, I threw some Trivium in there for you since I know you're trying to get into some heavier stuff. What's going on here?
But yeah, it's literally just like Kojima posted on Twitter that the game went gold. It's ready for mass production and it's ready to come out on November 8th. And it's literally like a white Blu-ray with Death Stranding, Gold Master, and like a handprint drawn on in Sharpie. And that's what they're going to use to mass produce this video game, which is just insane to me.
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's just so there's just something so kind of like endearing about just seeing Kojima like holding that like in front of the camera.
And it's just like
it's like a photo that you would take if you like give your kid after like their last soccer match where they're like holding the trophy up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He's just so proud of it. I love it.
He's very happy and he's doing the thumbs up. Like, I mean, I would be happy too. Like, this game has been like a thing for such a long time, and it's cool to see it be done. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. Even
it's I mean, and it's the first like actual outing of like his new production company, so it's a huge achievement for him.
Absolutely. So congratulations to Hideo Kojima on that. This is a huge accomplishment for Mr. Kojima and his team. So super cool.
For sure. Shouts out.
We live. Which leads me into we've known this has been a thing for I think a little while, if not. But the game is going to be accompanied by a limited edition PS4 Pro bundle.
It sure is, and it looks so cool,
so pretty. So it's kind of so to kind of describe what the console looks like. It kind of looks like it's like an Oreo. It's a white PS4 Pro, but like if you know what a PS4 Pro looks like, it's like that 3-layered like layer cake thing, and the middle layer is black, and it says Death Stranding across the front of it. And then on the top there are these handprints that are leaking the oil or whatever the antimatter or whatever it's supposed to be.
Yeah, like the tar or whatever Mads Mikkelsen is crying.
And inside of the handprints is a map of the world. So in the top right handprint, you have North America and South America, and in the bottom left handprint, you have like Europe and Asia and all those countries over there.
Which is really, really cool. And it also comes with a really, really sick controller.
It sure does. So the controller is like a translucent yellowy orange, very much like the pod that BB is sitting in during the game, and the touchpad has Death Stranding written on it.
And it's in the same like kind of like stylized Art Deco that we see in the trailers.
And it's actually really cool because I think the face buttons don't have color to them. It's just that orange. Like everything is orange. And it's one of those controllers where you can see like the gummy works of the controller. So you can see like the vibration, like where the gyros vibrate and all the panels and stuff. It's super cool. Now, did you know about this, Cole, that there is a setting that lets you play the game and BB crying will come out of the controller?
I read that, and I'm definitely going to play it that way just because it's kind of like, I mean, when you think about it, like, you know, the controller's right down here, like at your like waist.
Yeah,
right?
like it's you're very much going to be playing the game with the controller in the same position that BB would be in on Sam. It's
more immersive. Yeah, of course I'm going to play it like that. Absolutely. For sure. It's going to be creepy and weird, and that's exactly what I want this game to be. So
I'm kind of sad that there's like one of those like one time I went to Walmart and I was in the like the party section, and they have these like little plastic babies that you can just put on top of cakes, and I wish one of those was inside of the controller.
It was just like slowly moving through the controller, just menacingly.
Exactly. Love that. I'm looking over at my PS4 Pro right now. I'm like, I could probably just like DIY myself one of these Death Stranding PlayStations. I like get some black paint in the middle and like slap my hand up, and it's fine. Nobody will know the difference.
Yeah, I have to do less work than that. I've got the white PS4 from when Destiny released.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
Oh, okay, cool. Then yeah, just gonna slap some handprints. We're just good.
Yeah, it's fine. Everything's okay.
We're good. We're fine.
Wow. The next piece of little news here is that Hideo Kojima has said that he is going to be personally editing the Death Stranding launch trailer, which the launch trailer is basically going to be the last piece of footage we get for Death Stranding before the game comes out, and usually comes out within a few weeks of the game's release as like a final like marketing push.
Yeah.
And so going gold that we're probably going to get that at some point in the next like couple weeks, and Hideo Kojima is putting his own personal touch on it to make sure it's perfect, which one of course is, and two, hasn't he edited all of the shit that's come out so far?
Yeah, well, it seems from what I read, he has edited like every bit of like production that he has personally worked on. And I think he actually did do the initial trailer where we're seeing, all of the characters being, revealed. I think Hideo Kojima did.
Yeah, because
edit
it does say like, yeah, at the end of the trailer, or like towards the end of the trailer, it says editing Hideo Kojima at the bottom corner of the video. So I think he edited that one. So yeah, I mean, that's not a surprise to me, but I am very excited about this final trailer. I don't know what
I'm pumped.
New juicy tidbits
I'm pumped.
It will give us, but pumped up for that. We'll obviously talk about it as in depth as we possibly can on this podcast, because that's what we do whenever it comes out. So stay tuned for that. Our last little bit of news is the Death Stranding soundtrack got announced. So it's going to be called Timefall, which of course Timefall is the mysterious rain that appears in Death Stranding that makes everything age very quickly and decay. And it's a lot of original music, but there's several tracks on this album, 8 to be precise, by some artists you may know.
Yeah, big names actually on this.
Big names. Some really big. So the first things first is Churches released a single called Death Stranding very recently. As we're talking about this, I believe the first, I want to say. And that's kind of like basically the title track of the whole thing, but there's I'll read off the track listing, shall I, Cole?
Do it, buddy.
All right. We've got the song Trigger by Major Lazer and Khalid, which is fucking okay.
All right.
We've got the song Ghost by Al Ra and Alan Walker. Death Stranding by Churches. Yellow Box by The Neighborhood.
Which I'm excited about.
Yeah, very excited about that one. Meanwhile, in Genova by the SLP. This one I'm super excited about because these guys are actually fans of Metal Gear, and I've talked about them on the podcast before. They'd have a song called Shadow Moses,
which is really good. It's their best album that song is on.
Absolutely their best album. Because the song samples the part of the Best Is Yet to Come. It's the song Ludens by Bring Me the Horizon. Fuck yeah. By the way, their new album, it's different, but I really like it. I really like it. We'll talk. This is not this. We're not having this.
This is Patriot. This is Patriot. This is Patriot.
We've also got Born in the Slumber by Flora Cash and Sing to Me by Missio. I'm not sure who that is. Those two are, but if they're on this album, then they must be pretty decent because everybody else is like super cool and decent. So very excited by that.
Yeah. Kind of seems like every track name has something to do with the actual game, which is really cool to me.
Meanwhile, in Genova, actually is very intriguing to me because
that's Geneva.
Then what's Genova?
Genova. So I looked it up a little bit. Genova is apparently how the Italians say Genoa, which is a city in Italy.
Yeah. Okay.
And I dug a little bit further, and I have a very, very just off the wall kind of theory why it might be meanwhile in Genova.
Okay.
So we all know that Kojima loves movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like obscure European art house stuff as well.
Yeah.
Well, there was a 2008 film by Michael Winterbottom starring Colin Firth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about a widowed man living in Genoa after his wife is killed in a car accident that was caused by his youngest daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And then the widowed father, the younger and the older daughter, go to live in Genoa while the father is teaching English literature. And it's all about how like the city changes all their lives. The youngest daughter kind of starts to see like the ghost of their mother that she, caused the crash of. And the older one kind of comes to adulthood, and the father is kind of stuck and torn between his new life in Genoa, with these new love interests and with his new life and his old one that he left behind. So that's the only thing that I can think of that might be like why the track listing is as it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, no.
There's a lot of like really interesting, like just to be gleaned, like you said, from the titles. I wonder like how important like Ludens is going to be in this game, because like,
man, I don't know,
because like there's a whole like that was a whole thing, like the Ludens fan, like why is he a fan of Ludens? How does he know what Ludens is? What is Ludens? Who is Ludens?
I don't know. I feel like that was like part of me thinks that is simply just an Easter egg that
red herring
Kojima is deciding to show us, or like right up front, like, oh, Jeff Keighley, who everyone says is my boyfriend, is Ludens fan. Oh my god, what a coincidence! That kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess, but then like, why would you
definitely
like,
be very wrong?
Yeah, well, like all of these song titles seem like very important, as far as like what's happening. But then like Ludens is in there. Also, I'm like again, Bring Me the Horizon song is gonna be dope. But like,
I'm excited for it.
But like all of these things, like Born in the Slumber, Sing to Me, Yellow Box, Death Stranding, like all of these are very important. And Ludens is the name of one of the songs. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
is that
like,
just a
but the thing was,
is that something?
The thing with like Yellow Box, like you just said, like I had like 3 different things. I was like, maybe it could refer to like a delivery, like the delivery box, and maybe it could also refer to like the kind of container that BB is in, or maybe it refers to like the like AED machine on Heartman. I have no idea.
Yeah, there's a lot to be gleaned from this. What I will say is I'm pretty sure Death Stranding by Church is the only song that's been put out so far as we're recording this.
Yeah, as of recording, it's the only one that's been put out, because I think the rest are going to come out sometime either at launch or right before.
Yeah. So, but the song Death Stranding is pretty dope.
Oh, it's a banger. It's so good.
I like Churches anyway.
Yeah.
Both the artist and the chicken, and it's a very good song.
Yeah, no, I've really got into them when they did a cover of an Arctic Monkey song, and I was like, oh my god, who is this? I need to see them. And then I just started looking into them, and then lo and behold, they're in the OST, so that's really, really cool.
Yep. So yeah, we got that, and that is our news for this episode of the podcast. We will obviously be covering.
Glad to have it back.
We will be covering any other news that comes up as it happens. But for now, we're gonna start analyzing some shit. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready for it. Let's do it.
So what we decided to do is all of the characters that have been revealed so far, we're going to take some time and kind of discuss the characters. We're going to discuss theories. We're going to just get into some pure speculation, because we've honestly, at this point, we've talked about like all of the videos and footage we can really talk about. So, and I guess this episode, I think we will kind of dive into, because I don't know that we talked about the E3 video, but like part of what I have to say has to do with that video.
Sure.
So we basically discussed all of the media around the game so far. So now all we have to have left is to speculate.
I'm gonna say we've got a month to do this, so why not, right?
Yeah, I mean we've got let's see, we've got like 5 episodes worth of shit to get like to fill in.
Start taking bets on what theories are right or not.
We might have some surprises thrown in there as well. Just
it is Kojima, so I assume that everything that I say in the next, I don't know, however long this podcast lasts will be wrong.
Yeah,
so.
everything we say is going to be completely invalidated by the time the game comes out, but that's okay. That's just fine.
That's okay. That's okay.
So the way we're dividing this is we're dividing all the characters up into different episodes. So this episode we're going to be talking about Sam, we're going to be talking about Amelie, and we're going to be talking about Fragile. I don't know which one's going to come first. Probably the one that I'm going to say, but the next one we're going to do is going to be kind of like a quote villains episode. So we're going to discuss Cliff and Higgs. Very excited for that one. There's a lot to be discussed there.
I just really like Higgs as a villain. I just think he's like a really sinister character. I love that. I like Higgs a lot, and then I like Cliff because of how mysterious he is, and I just want to know everything about Cliff. So I have some thoughts about Cliff and what he is or what he might be. So that'll be exciting. And then we're also going to have an episode where we discuss the rest. So we're going to talk about Dead Man, Die Hard Man, Heart Man, and Mama. Just all in one. All in one. All those supporting cast members. And I'm gonna be doing it with my friend and co-host, Almost Burnt Man, Cole Duncan. I will be your crispy boy. Crispy boy. Sam, crispy boy summer. It's not summer anymore, it's autumn now. Crispy boy autumn. Summer. That works too, because like the leaves are awesome in Tennessee, so I will always be a crispy boy. Yeah. Never not crispy. Never not crispy. Stay crispy. Never be crisp over. Yeah, so let's get into it, Cole. Do you want to lead us off? Sure. Do we want to start with Sam? Yeah, let's start with Sam. Sam Porter Bridges. So Sam Porter Bridges, I went back and looked at a lot of the videos for Sam. So starting with his actual kind of like the big like character reveal trail, and we have Sam, who is the man who delivers. This is the first thing we learn about him. Obviously, he is a porter for bridges. And the next thing we learn about him is that he has what is called a chiral allergy, which was something that I kind of picked up on, but I've certainly picked up on a lot more as more trailers have come out. And that's like whenever like the crying, all the crying that we've seen. If people are crying, they have in the presence of like a BT. So it's like a reaction to a BT. It's like ghostly hay fever. So he tells we learned in this trailer that he tells Fragile like, I do have chiral allergies. I can't see them, but I can sense them. And so I think that is what the chiral allergy really is. That's what the goosebumps everything are when he approaches. Yeah, that video, like they really illustrated. I don't recall it being so illustrated, but that video, like the goosebumps are super pronounced in that video. Very much, like very detailed, very kind of spooky almost. We also learned that our main protagonist has something called a doom. Yes. Which a lot of the main characters in this game seem to have. Which it's the way that Fragile describes it. She says,
what does she say? She says you have the Doom too. What level are you?
Yeah, and he says that he has a extinction. It's an extinction factor.
Yeah. So I'm wondering what that means. Like, is it like Wolverine has healing factor, Sam has extinction factor? Like, is it like a power? Like, is it?
I don't know, because part of me thinks, that it's all about, the game is all about being isolated and being alone, and that his doom is that, this extinction factor is that he is able to survive an extinction.
So like, so you think that's why he can come back from being dead, is because he has the extinction factor?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But then he goes on to say, it's a lot, I guarantee it's a lot less than yours. Yeah. So it's implied that Fragile has a much higher level doom.
Which I had I think this might even be a popular theory. I don't know. I haven't read a lot of them, but I have a theory about Fragile in that I think that she might have the ability to teleport.
Really?
And I think that the Fragile Express might be our fast travel system.
That is very interesting. What do you?
And she might be able to teleport to places that you have linked, that you've created, that you've
connected to the chiral network.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really, really cool, actually.
Yeah. And I think that's what her like funky umbrella is, because she travels very light, just given like everything that you see of her, and she has that like cool weird umbrella that she uses to cover from the timefall. But I don't know. I think that might be like what part of what she can do, because like we know it's possible because Higgs can teleport and like transport himself.
Yeah, well, that kind of makes sense because Kojima did say that Fragile is based roughly around Mary Poppins.
Mm-hmm.
So with her umbrella being able to kind of like float away or to just kind of show up somewhere. So I feel like that theory has some kind of like weight to it. It's got some footing to it.
Yeah. Some pudding.
I'm sorry, buddy. It's late.
I've never heard that before.
I'm sorry. It's late. Listeners, if there wasn't a warning up front, we've had some technical issues. Your boy is running a little low right now. But while we're on Fragile with Sam, she did offer him a job at one point.
And he rejects it. He says that he can't help her. He makes deliveries, and that's all.
That's it.
Which that also like brings to me like, well, what the fuck does Fragile Express do if not deliveries? Like,
right. Well, that might give some credence to your theory that they kind of deliver people. Like the whole idea of Fragile Express is handled with love.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Which also
definitely
kind of ties into the Mary Poppins thing as well.
Exactly. If I was going to be teleported across the country, I also would like to be, handled with love. Just, just make sure I'm good. I'm good. Just, not a Spirit airline, maybe, maybe some like Delta,
Because we're Delta Airlines and life is a fucking nightmare.
Absolutely.
Sorry, that's a John Mulaney joke for those of you who don't know. Can I get a sandwich, please? No. You guys should pay attention to John Mulaney. Sorry.
Absolutely. He's actually really important to the canon of Death Stranding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I wonder. So my question then. So we've determined that like the dooms or these factors can have levels to them, obviously. So is that like can those levels, can you to use a trite term, I suppose, can you level up your dooms, like your factor?
I think that would definitely be a mechanic. I think that just the mention of that implies that. And I think it might have to do with how much you interact with BTs.
Mm.
If I'm gonna levy a theory here,
Okay.
I think the more that you deal with, say, like we talked about in the last podcast, like catchers.
Yeah.
Maybe that in turn raises your doom level.
Mm. That
because quiet. Oh my god, fragile is. Insert woman next to protagonist here.
Mm-hmm.
Fragile is very calm when it comes to dealing with BTs.
Mm-hmm.
Like while Sam is freaking out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he goes to grab that. He goes to grab
Hulk.
that picture on the ground, and then like she like grabs his wrists and tells him to shush, and it's very
Yeah. She like calms him down, like shut up. Yeah. Just hold your breath. Let them pass.
Because it's implied that she can see them. Like, he can't see them, but she can see them. And I think, like, I think your theory might ring true. Because I think, like, part of what we've seen so far is that, like, if you're moving, like, everything we've seen so far, if you're moving, you cannot see the gazers, right? But then if you stop, you can see them. And I wonder if...
Yeah.
Like at the beginning of the game, you're going to have to rely entirely on the pata to know where they are, and then as you progress through the game and deal with them more, you'll like start gaining. It's like now when you don't move, you can see where they are, and then maybe if you start moving, you can see them, and then the deeper you get, like the more you can see.
I think that would make sense because from every bit of gameplay that we've seen with Sam, when he does encounter a BT, he does have the pata, he does have a BB, but anytime we see Fragile, she does not have any of that. The literally only bit of tech that we see that she has is that umbrella.
Yeah. Now there are also, what I will say is that there are some like clips, and they're very short, and there's not much to them. But there have been some like small clips of Fragile where she looks like she's wearing like a suit like Sam has.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that. Like it seems like she does come over and work maybe side by side with Bridges at some point. Or maybe Bridges helps her.
Because I wonder,
which I think we might get into later on.
Like is this like a FedEx UPS situation? Like it's like what can Brown do for you?
They're just having a turf war.
What can Brown do for you? We can teleport you across the fucking country. That's what Brown can do for you. God damn it!
I do stand UPS. I'm not going to lie. I'm all about them.
My dad used to tell me this a joke when I was younger. He used to go, "Hey, did you know that that FedEx and UPS are merging together and becoming one company?" Cole, did you know?
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, did you know they're going to be called? They're going to be called Fed Up.
Sam, as soon as we're done with this, I want you to call your dad and tell him I love him.
I'll do it tomorrow because he's
that joke. Oh.
But I will say
that makes sense. That makes sense. But like legit, let him know because that was an amazing dad joke.
But yeah. So I wonder if I wonder at the beginning of the game, my questions are, how deep is the relationship between Sam and Fragile? Because they have that little clip of them like touching heads and like being very like close, familiar as it were.
Close.
So how much do they know each other at the beginning of the game? Is there history? Is this like somebody that he just kind of met in his travels and just got really close to? What kind of relationship is there?
Well, I would assume that there's some kind of history there, just based on anything that we've seen from like trailers where they interact.
There has to be.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't feel comfortable being, and this is obviously a very weird comparison. I wouldn't feel that comfortable, like just randomly talking, just shooting the shit with a competitor in like my industry for one, unless I had known them previously for a decent amount of time. Like, yeah, we're in the same industry, but I don't really know you. It seems like they have definitely known each other for some time, at least in a long enough time where Fragile has seen Sam's work and says, well, hey, why don't you just come work for us? I mean, yeah, I get that, job security is pretty light in the UCA, but at the same time, when you're dealing with, I assume, kind of very, very important things, you don't want them to be in the hands of someone who is inept. And I think that Fragile realizes that Sam is someone who is very skilled at what he does. And the only reason she would know that is if she had known him for some time.
I can get behind that.
And one thing that I had talked to you about earlier that I just kind of found on the internet was about Sam is that on one of his Havoc suits, he has the code 0914-137, which someone, a very smart person who wasn't me, obviously, worked around and found that it kind of correlates with Psalm 137:9, which is also 14 words in length, which states, "Happy is the one who seizes your infants and dashes them against the rocks."
So that's metal as fuck. The Bible is fucking weird, dude. Especially that Old Testament, man. Like, I'm not here to make any like statements or anything like that. That's not what I'm about right now. But like, even like the most devout Christian has to agree, the Bible's fucking gnarly, dude.
It's in there.
The New Testament's all about like love and like forgiving people and like dying. Jesus died for our sins and shit. The Old Testament is metal as shit, dude. Yeah. People are turning into pillars of salt. Like, there's locusts and shit.
There's a lot of
killing. There's a lot
of killing. A lot of killing going in there.
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of infanticide as well, just judging by this one. But once again, it kind of harkens back to the actual game, in some capacity, infants being dashed against the rocks maybe translates to, and I really hate saying this, but like Dead Man, where he's talking about, don't get too attached to this to your BB,
and like how quote disposable the BBs are.
Yeah. And maybe Sam is implied to be the one who is happy, or maybe maybe they're implying that someone like Higgs is the one who is happy, and it's like reminder or something to that extent. But yeah, just something interesting that I found just kind of while I was researching a little bit. Okay, I'm going to get into some weird territory if you don't mind. You mind if I get weird with it?
Yeah, Cole. Fuck them up. Fuck them up, Cole.
Sam, are you sure? Are you sure?
Fuck them, man. Fucking get them, dog.
All right.
Get them.
All right.
They're not ready for this shit, but you're going to get them anyway.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Cole, in like mid-November, just remember to remark on this, okay, buddy? I love you. You're still doing good. I appreciate you. Sam is possibly Amelie's husband or sister. There's somehow or another.
I that's what I was thinking too.
Family.
I think that
it's one of the two.
So there's a couple of pictures that we see in various trailers. So we have the one where Sam is standing next to the pregnant woman and her face is kind of blurred out, and then Bridget is behind them. And then there is the other one where it's Sam next to, is it Bridget in that picture? And then the younger girl?
Yes. Yeah.
So I've heard some theories that Amelie and Bridget are the same person. And I
bum.
Yeah. which is super strange to me, and I feel like because Lindsay Wagner is the base of both of them, but they got a different mocap and voice actor to play Amelie that they do for Bridget. So Lindsay Wagner is Bridget, but I can't remember her name right now. I think her name is Emily something, but plays young Amelie. And so that seems very specifically done.
Yeah, well, and then also someone pointed out that, with like Guillermo del Toro's character, Dead Man, when you see the trailer, you see Dead Man, and it's Guillermo del Toro, and then right underneath it, it says featuring, I forget the guy's name. I think it's Jesse Cordy. But it's his actual voice actor. You don't see that with either Bridget or Amelie. It's just the same. So that's where I think a lot of these theories are coming in, and I feel like that's just Hideo being I think Hideo.
It might be because here's another thing that I kind of noticed too is before we started recording, I rewatched like a bunch of different trailers, and I rewatched like the release date trailer and the E3 trailer just to like refresh myself. And in the release date trailer, so we know from the briefing trailer that Amelie's body is being held by Higgs and the Homo Demons, correct? And so what you're seeing is a hologram representation of her. They are letting her communicate with them, and are telling them to tell them to stay away, right?
Right, because she's not in a cell. She's allowed to kind of exist peacefully, but just now, quote unquote, on the beach.
Right. Now, and I don't know when timelines are, but at the beginning of the briefing trailer, or the release date trailer, Sam is in the White House in the Oval Office talking to Bridget, who's in that bed, and she's connected by all these tubes and everything like that, and she's not doing well, clearly.
It seems like, I mean, I read cancer from that. Is that a read that you caught?
I could very much see it because she has like the scarf that she's wearing on her head and things like that, which is very like, I don't want to say iconic, like, because that's not the word. I'm like a lot of patients wear those when they lose their hair from chemo. But one thing that I did notice, I was scanning this trailer for fucking everything I could. One thing I noticed is in that release date trailer, Dead Man and Die Hardman and Sam are standing around that table where they're burning that body, and her scarf is attached to the body bag, and so how could it be Bridget if her body has been burnt? You know what I mean? So that's my biggest. What do you say? Some people are what?
Some people are suggesting that there is some kind of time swap type situation going on, or maybe there's a clone situation going on. I think, and this is the first time that I'm ever having to put these two together, I think the time swap situation is probably more apropos. And the only reason I say that is with Amelie saying that her body is on the beach. With the death of Bridget, Bridget would technically be, if we're all thinking the same way, Bridget would be on the beach.
Sure. By
being dead.
Sure.
But once again, I have no idea how these mechanics are working. It's
the other
October
thing,
2nd as of recording.
The other thing about it too is that Amelie does tell Sam, she says, "You still don't recognize me, do you?"
Yeah.
Which, like, that's another complete fucking brick in the system of what the hell's going on. Which is like, fucking what? Like, what are you talking about?
Well, and the other reason I think that Sam and Amelie and Bridget are all related in some way is, I think I said this at some point in the last episode.
Well, that's the whole thing with like the Strand, right? He says he's not a Strand anymore.
I'm not a Strand anymore.
Yeah.
And she's like, we never forgot about you. You're the one who turned your back on us.
Mm-hmm.
And so does that mean that, he wasn't a part of the family? Like he, disowned his own family? Or did he, break ties with them when, there was some kind of falling out before the Death Stranding? I'm not sure.
Right. It's all very strange because you have the pregnant woman who has her face blurred out, and you have the younger girl who has her face blurred out, and I don't know, like they can't be the same person. I don't think.
No,
because
I don't think.
Because who's the younger girl? Because like if Amelie is the pregnant woman and Sam was like in a relationship with her or was like married to her, then there's no reason why he shouldn't recognize her when he sees her. At whatever point, right? But if Amelie is the younger girl, then there's a chance he could not recognize her because maybe she has grown up and he hasn't seen her since she was young, and then that's why he doesn't recognize her. So then is she sister, or maybe like I want to say like maybe like daughter almost, but like daughter wouldn't work either, I don't think, because one, he doesn't look old enough for her to be his daughter, and two, he wouldn't be that cold to his daughter, I don't think. But I could see him maybe like shoving off his sister, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think sister probably works best here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just had a theory that I immediately debunked in my head because Amelie took 3 years to get across the country.
Mm-hmm.
What if Amelie is the pregnant woman that we see in that photo?
Mm-hmm.
And what if the baby that she had became one of the BBs?
Oh, well, so then that lends the question then, well, maybe like, what if like her baby is Sam's BB too?
Well, maybe not even Sam's. What if it's like Higgs or even Cliff? Because Cliff has such a connection
to the BBs
with the BBs. Yeah, that just kind of came into my head while we were talking about it.
Oh my god, that's a whole fucking extra layer of like craziness.
Yeah. And it's Kojima. I mean, we can't really leave anything off the table here. Sam, while we're talking about BBs and BTs, Sam has a lot of crazy prints all over him. He has like handprints all over him. Like I'm assuming it's implied that he's like clean when he's in the Oval Office, but you still see like through his tank top, you still see like handprints like pressed into him. I kind of took this as maybe a byproduct of his chiral allergy. Maybe when a BT touches him, it kind of imprints itself on him, and he has quite a bit of those, like all over his body.
Yeah. Because if you think about, because like when they grab him, they pull him down, and they drag him, and like, yeah, maybe that's like more permanent.
I'll say it's not just one that's grabbing him. It's
like a horde of them.
Crew that is just dragging. Yeah, they're all just dragging him down into the.
Some might even say, "Drag me to hell."
And then, yeah, exactly. Oh god, that last scene, Jesus, that was a rough movie. And one last thing that I noticed about Sam, just kind of off the cuff, was that he is wearing Kojima's glasses in one scene.
Is he?
Yeah. He's got the JF rays with the orange kind of streak underneath.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Just because they're so
interesting,
very Kojima, I noticed that he was wearing them in one scene. They weren't the Wayfarer style. They were like actual like reading glasses. Yeah, just something interesting I found.
Christ, I don't know. So
What?
I just like talking about the glasses just put another batshit theory into my head.
Oh no.
What if Cliff is Sam from the future?
Ooh.
Because Cliff has Cliff wearing the glasses and the thing. I don't think that one is has any like weight to it, but like I just had like this thought. I was just like, man, fuck, what if though?
Like I have a theory for Cliff, and I'm gonna save it. I'll tell you it off mic. But I don't think that. I'll just say that now. I don't think that Cliff is Sam from the future.
I
do think Cliff has a connection with someone.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's Sam.
Okay. I just had like a weird moment. I was just like, "What? Fuck me! I can't with this." I have a lot of anxiety, and it's fucking with me. So, yeah.
Do you have anything else? Do you have anything else on Sam that I didn't notice a whole lot more, but just because there's not a lot. I know that he was part of a disposal team at one point, working for Bridges. But outside of that,
I kind of want to discuss a little bit about like the naming convention here, and see we don't have to go into it a whole lot because I don't think there's a lot of like meat to it, but at least right now, but I think we've probably touched on this because like Sam Porter Bridges is clearly not his real name, right? And obviously,
no, he's already stated that he's no longer
which
a Strand.
means that he was like part of that family or at one point, because Porter is on his uniform, and they wouldn't put a middle name on a uniform like that. That's his job.
Right.
Yeah,
and he is a Porter.
That's his job.
Yeah,
and then Bridges is the company he works for, and he might have some relation to the company as well, but it seems like in this universe, you have your first name, and then the rest of your name is what you do and who you work for.
Unless you own that company, in the case of
which
Fragile.
Yeah, like so Fragile is potentially the owner of Fragile Express. So she's just called Fragile. So
then is it implied that like Die Hardman and Heartman and Deadman are Deadman Bridges, Die Hardman Bridges, that naming? Are we
potentially?
Maybe I don't
potentially.
know.
And then is Strand even a family name too? You know what I mean? Like there are so many things,
right?
So many questions to ask about this fucking game.
I mean, Amelia's middle name is literally America, so so naming kind of just flies out the window. It seems like in this game.
And we'll discuss kind of and again, we're going to have the other two episodes, so we're going to discuss kind of what we think about like, because I have some thoughts about like everybody else's names. And, I already blew my load on like the Higgs theory, but we can talk a little bit more on that. But yeah,
you blew your large hadron on it.
Yeah, smacked my large hadron collider on the table and blew my Higgs boson out of it.
Just right out there, just that God particle just.
The God particle is my penis. But yeah, that's kind of it. Before we go, I've got one more thing that I want to talk about. And it's not like theory, and it might even tie into some theories, but I want to kind of discuss. Do you know what the word chiral means, or what chirality is?
Yeah, it's where it's like where you can't superimpose two things over. It's like if you took your hands and put them on top of each other, if you lined your middle fingers up, your hands would be non-symmetrical.
Right. It's
like they're the same, but they're different in some way.
It is a property of asymmetry, important in several branches of science, derived from the Greek word for hand, which is a familiar chiral object. So as you said, our hands are chiral in that they look very similar, but if you overlap them, they do not match perfectly.
Right.
So that's interesting.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense now when you think about it. I mean, like the USA and the UCA are the USA obviously is a grouping of of states coming together under one government, whereas the UCA is essentially the same thing. It's a loose confederacy of cities coming together under the umbrella of a larger entity. It's not the same, but it is very similar. So I think that may be where the chiral network is coming up there, making chiral knots. I mean, when you look at the map where Sam is going to, they are going to large American cities. I think from looking at it, it looks like Los Angeles is Edge Knot City.
Yeah, more than likely.
And I mean, we've already established that the Oval Office in the White House is still a thing.
So it's still in DC.
So it's still in DC, right? And
Port Knot City is somewhere in the Midwest, maybe like Chicago.
Maybe. We see them like when obviously he was moving through Kentucky, right through the middle/lower left part of the state. There are a lot of major cities.
It's somewhere. It's obviously somewhere where there's a lot of still lots of hills and mountains with a lot of water. So somewhere in the Midwest in that area.
And it seems like when you see Amelie kind of show the map of where she had been, she made a giant kind of diagonal, southwestern journey through what I assume is the Rockies, and probably the best place to pass through the Rockies to get to, I assume, Nevada. I think Nevada or New Mexico.
A lot of people are going to be mad at you for saying it like that, brother.
I know. Please, I'm a dumb country bumpkin from Southeast Tennessee.
It's Nevada.
I don't know. I don't know words. I don't know how to pronounce state names unless you're from around
I'm
here.
Paula Dean. Let's put some butter in it.
Whoa. Hold on. Wait a minute. We're not getting into that territory. Come on now. We disowned her a long time. Sorry.
Racist old recipe lady.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we don't say that name around here anymore.
We don't talk about her. She who shall not be named.
Be named.
Yeah. So it's. I'm very interested because the other thing that I had forgotten about too is that in the E3 trailer they show a lot of different terrains, and one of them is very rocky and not mountainy rocky, but it looks like Mars rocky. That's the kind of red rocks and things like that.
What I wondered about that area is that maybe that's a place where a void out had occurred, because there's when a void out occurs, they say that a crater shows up. What I assume, because we see a little bit of an actual void out, what I assume a void out is happening in one of the Japanese trailers. It looks like a giant detonation going off. So I assume that it turns the area into a wasteland, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, but then I wonder how because I've some of these craters are just super wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just looks too shallow for it to be like the bottom of one of those craters.
I mean, maybe when they say a crater occurs, it could be, a crater. I'm thinking in D&D terms is like a 5x5 square.
Mm.
When Sam is talking, when he says the suicide in New York, do you think that could have been them? If those things can be linked, so it makes a giant void out.
Yeah,
is when you see these massive craters.
Which, like, I'm wondering too, because like in the E3 trailer, after all the stuff with Fragile, Sam is on the radio with Deadman, and he's like, no, I can't. Like, it's raining and they're closing in on my position. I have to go and all that stuff like that. And Deadman tells him to be careful because he could void out, and like that whole area would be gone.
Do you think that has anything to do with his extinction level doom factor?
Well, that's what I wonder. Like, could that mean that like anybody can void out, but because he can come back, like his void outs are like bigger, and that's why we see these like super giant craters. But like a void out like wouldn't necessarily be as extreme, unless like it was like a huge gathering of people,
right? Or you could read it as like an extinction level doom level is like if you void out, it's going to be like a meteor the size of Knoxville hitting the earth and just wiping out a quarter of the population.
Yeah, but then like I guess if voiding out is like a thing you can do and come back from, then like how many times can you void out? Is it really like huge? Like there's so many questions. There's a lot,
and unfortunately, I mean, like you and I can speculate till we're both blue in the face, like Sam in that one trailer where he, throws the gun up to his head. But I don't think that we'll know anything until November 8th. Unfortunately, I mean, like, I think both theories have volition. They because you can only void out on the beach, from what I can tell, correct?
I don't know.
Because it's like, hey, be careful. If that thing eats you, you will void out.
Right. Which means that, like, they were telling him to be careful because he'll void out, meaning that, like, if he gets caught by the gazers, then he'll be pulled to the beach and then he could void out.
Right.
If that happens.
Right. And maybe that has something to do with the handcuff. You know what I mean?
Like maybe that like limits his like.
Right. I mean,
his power, like his ability, like it reduces it.
Because I noticed something in one of those first trailers that we see where he's with a team, and one of his team members is picked up by a BT, and he tries to shoot himself, but then loses the gun, so he starts to stab himself. If you watch his wrist, he also has a cuff. And as he stabs, it goes from blue to yellow to red.
Oh.
So maybe
that... Well, I feel like that maybe that's like a health indicator almost.
It's definitely a health indicator, but I wonder if that is, their way of telling how close they are getting to the other side, to the beach.
Maybe.
And maybe it was his way of just being like, no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. And just trying to stop himself, just go ahead and just killing himself before he could get to the beach. So he couldn't void out.
So then do you think that, so then my question is, so I guess like I've always thought like the BTs can pull you to the beach, but then that would mean that dying doesn't necessarily put you on the
Well,
beach.
that's what I was saying, is that I think the only way that you void out is if you die on the beach.
Okay. Well, which that then brings us back to Bridget, then. If she died from cancer in the Oval Office, then she can't be Amelie, right?
Well, maybe. I mean, because we don't definitively know how Bridget died.
That's true.
I mean, this is Kojima that we're talking about.
That's true. I mean, they have her body and they burn her body.
Right.
As far as we know,
Right.
That could just be like a symbolism thing, but like,
and I know I make that excuse a lot, that, this is Kojima that we're talking about. He's done so much crazy shit.
Yeah, it's never been truer than right the fuck
For the past exactly. For the past 20 years, he's done he made a storyline about 4 like literally mentally and physically tortured women who became super soldiers, and all of us were like, "No, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I'll go along with that for sure." Hell
Not
yeah.
only that, but like all of them ate people.
Yeah, every single one of them.
And we were just like, "Nah, this is fine."
Oh no,
dog.
no. Oh, what? She was like a Russian that got thrown into a chamber that full of like meat, and so she assumed that it was just meat that was left over, and so she ate them. Yeah, no, I mean, like, that's messed, that's real fucked up, but like, no, I believe that for sure. Yeah, no.
Thanks, Drebin.
So when am I gonna get to fight Liquid? When are we doing this? Like, we didn't bat an eye, but like now we're all of a sudden batting an eye over like, whoa, hey, wait a minute, this seems kind of crazy. I mean,
that's his fault, God.
Yeah, no. So that's my. I mean, that's my excuse for constantly bringing that up. I mean, like, he's done crazy shit for the past 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
I
don't know. I think I'm ready for this fucking video game.
Oh, I'm super ready for this fucking video game.
He did tweet out about that trailer, the launch trailer. He said that normally, and again, so we had that like controversy a couple weeks ago where Kojima was tweeting out stuff in on his English Twitter, and people were up in arms because it seemed like he wasn't like respecting the process or his people, which we determined was more than likely his English translator being bad at translating.
Right.
So he tweeted out on his English Twitter. He said normally a launch trailer will be handled by an outsourcing CGI studio using the movie director to make it gorgeous with full CGI or live action. He says, I do it by myself as the trailer is part of the title, which is very exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see his actual like artistic vision that he can show us.
Yeah, but like that's a very specific like choice of words. It's part of the title,
right?
Like I don't like what is that trailer going to give us? I'm pumped for that trailer. I'm pumped for this game.
Yeah, no, I'm extremely excited for it. I'm extremely excited to see what he chooses to show us as part of the game.
Yes.
Do we want to move on to Fragile?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought I think we kind of like talked about them a little bit. Do you have like additional stuff for Fragile?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Let's hear it.
It seems that like Fragile is definitely an ally. Because she seems to be in direct opposition of the Homo Demons.
Well, yeah, because they have that moment where like they kidnap her and
they
really
absolutely. And she's still super calm. Like she never bats an eye, even when like Higgs does that really creepy like licking her face thing. Do you have any idea what that thing that she ate is, by the way?
It's called something. It's hold please. It has a name.
Yeah.
But like it's apparently I guess it's like a little grub that's supposed to like keep the time fall away, or is supposed to like limit or reverse or fight back the effects of the time fall.
Got it. Okay. Weird. Is it so? Maybe does it have something to do with like because everything in this game seems to be tied to blood with some sort? Is it maybe this thing's blood that is able to stop the time fall or reverse the time fall?
Maybe. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Or is it that it's and I hate saying this, is it such as that it's an innocent creature that wouldn't be affected by the time fall?
Maybe. Kojima mentions in the Safe House trailer that Fragile brought Sam eats the bugs in the Safe House trailer too, and Kojima mentions that Fragile brought them over to him.
Okay, so that they are the same. We are sure
they're
that
the
they
same
are the same
thing.
Bugs.
I honestly, there is.
So
I swear to God, I'm so mad that I can't remember the name of them right now.
You're good. You're good.
Fuck me. I need to watch that video. Hold on. This is compelling audio. Wait, what was
I love it.
Hold on.
A cryptobite a day keeps the time fall away.
A cryptobite. It's called a cryptobite. A cryptobite a day keeps the time fall away. So I think, so this thing is called a cryptobite, and I think there's something about them that like helps against time fall.
Okay, I say that makes sense.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Slimy yet satisfying. It's Hakuna fucking Matata. Who cares?
The other thing I was going to mention, just kind of aesthetically, I love that Fragile's company's tagline is "Handled with love," and it's printed on the back of her jacket that is completely covered with spikes.
Yep. Which is amazing. The spikes, actually, I think the spikes pop out when BTs are near, so it's kind of like the goosebumps.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I noticed that in some of the trailers, like the spikes are out when the BTs are nearby.
But the last thing that I noticed about her is that she has a similar cuff to Sam.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same cuff, but it's a lot slimmer than Sam's. And I wonder if that is what we were talking about earlier, where she maybe has, done work with Bridges and was given a cuff, or if that was something that she kind of came up with independently.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do need to know like what their relationship is and like how they met each other and like what Fragile Express is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what do they actually do? Like
because clearly they do more than just deliver things.
Absolutely. We're in agreement that she is the leader of Fragile Express.
I
correct?
feel like she has to be. Yeah.
Yeah. She has dooms stronger than Sam. And also has the chiral allergy, which I think everyone besides Deadman and Die Hardman have, from what we've seen.
Well, I remember the other thing that it says, I made note of the fact that in that release date trailer, the clips that they show of everybody, the only people that aren't crying are Deadman and Die Hardman and Cliff.
Does Cliff not cry?
Cliff is not crying. He's smoking his cigarette.
Well, but he does have like the black ichor.
He does, but like he does have the black ichor, but like not in the part that I was talking about.
Okay.
But he does have the black ichor at some point in the trailer coming out of his eyes. Okay. So,
yeah.
So I'm not sure.
We don't have a lot on Fragile at this point.
No, and I think that's intentional. Like we don't have a lot on Fragile. We have more about Sam than we do Fragile, but we also don't have a lot on Sam either, which I think is totally intentional.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they've been wanting to keep this under wraps for such a long time. I mean, and Kojima is great at doing that kind of thing.
Yeah. I've been a little like I think it's about time that I like give some props to this because I've been a little down on Death Stranding's in its build up, kind of publicly like in our Discord and stuff like that. I think that it's going to surprise us, and I think that I don't think we have any idea what's coming.
No, and I'm excited for that too. I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, like I tried to express that a little bit in the last episode that like I have dogged it for a bit, but I am legitimately excited for the game and for the story that it wants to tell.
Yep. So, and you know what too? Like, I'm not gonna use it, but like, fuck yeah for the very easy mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I think games need to be like like more accessible to people, and I think being able to have people experience the story and not have to worry so much about the challenge is like a dope idea. And more games should do it.
I agree. I mean, especially with a game like this that seems to be so story driven.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the casual player who is just coming to a system that's saying, you know, like this game looks incredible, I want to know more about it. Having a very easy mode where you can just kind of hop in and just enjoy, maybe not have to use the L and R to balance yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is really cool.
There's some like quirks that I can tell that I'm not gonna like, and that's fine. I mean, some games have quirks like that, but
sure.
I like to think and I like to hope that it'll balance itself against those things.
Yeah. I think I
balance. I use balance as an example. Fuck me.
Well, I mean that's the main gripe that I have. I can see like coming up. I'm like, I don't really want to fucking balance Norman Reedus for however long this game is going to be. If it's like Metal Gear Solid 5, it's going to be a minute. But I don't want to have to balance Norman Reedus for that long.
Yeah.
So I assume that the deliveries are going to just get heavier and heavier.
Well, yeah. Well, again, in the E3 trailer, there's like a lot of like I can't remember if it's the E3 trailer or the release date trailer, but one of those trailers has a clip of Sam crossing this chasm, and using a ladder as a bridge, and he's carrying all kinds of shit. And I'm just like, that fucking sucks.
That looks terrifying.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like
I know. Yeah, it is a long ass chasm,
and he is loaded the fuck up, man.
It looks like when Kojima originally loaded him up in the Tokyo Game Show footage.
Yeah,
where before he redistributed everything and everything was on his back.
Yeah.
He's walking along a ladder that is maybe, I don't know, a foot wide.
Yeah, it's like one of the ladders that you've seen like in all of the media for it so far. It's like one of those skinny ladders that's meant to climb. Like it's a skinny ass ladder across this giant ass chasm. He's loaded up like he was in the gameplay, the 50-minute gameplay demo, and he's also holding shit.
Do you think we get a big boy ladder, like a wide boy ladder?
I don't know, man. I hope so.
That'd be dope, wouldn't it? Just like I feel like that would like if you can upgrade literally your harmonica playing.
Yeah.
Surely to God,
you can upgrade your to be better.
Your 3D chiral printer to make you a wide ladder.
Wide boy.
So you're wide boy.
I need
ladder.
A wide boy.
I would love
Get
that.
me through this mess. You want to? Oh, so there's actually a fun thing about Fragile too. Not about the character, but about the portrayal. Stephanie Houston, who we have, who played Quiet in Metal Gear Solid 5, we interviewed her a while back. Go check it out. She did a different interview with Young Ya, who we've talked about on the show before, and I guess she was approached to play Fragile, and then was just never called back.
I saw that. Yeah,
which is like, dude, that's rough.
That does suck. That does suck. She was amazing in Metal Gear Solid 5. Just even with the very, very amount of small lines that she did have, she was great. I mean, it was just powerful. And plus, the fans would love to see Stephanie Houston back into like a Kojima franchise. I feel like she's just part of the family at this point.
But you get Lea Sedol, and then you fucking forget about where you came from.
Yeah, you get a little bit of money, and then
all hell breaks loose.
Some little bit of money.
Lea Sedol, though.
She's great. She is really great, and I think she's going to be a fantastic character. in the game coming up.
Indeed.
About Samantha America
Yes.
Strand, though. What do you think about her?
I don't know, man. I'm worried that my worry is that so I've talked already about, and we'll discuss it even further about how I don't think that Higgs and Cliff are villains in the traditional sense.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like she's the secret bad guy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I feel like her and Die
Like
Hardman might be like either it's both of them, or she's like a secret bad guy and he is so die hard that he like follows her. But I think that she might be like secretly the baddie.
Well, you know, there is a bit of like there's a bit of me that agrees with you on that, because I have one theory that I think I can like loop onto that.
Okay.
At one point in one of the trailers, you see that Amelie has been taken by Higgs.
Uh-huh.
Higgs has her necklace on.
Yes.
That gold necklace. Yeah. My theory is that necklace is either a just straight up Cupid or a prototype Cupid. And that he is using that as a way to kind of invalidate the connections, to kind of set America truly free.
Yeah. Which that's the reason why I think like maybe she's trying to connect everything together again to imprison or to things like that, and that's why they're resisting almost. Like that's
so she can have control.
Like absolute power, like almost.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've gotten this I got like it was the briefing trailer that actually did it for me, because I got this very strange feeling off of her in that trailer, and I was just like, I don't like this one bit. I think she might be secretly the baddie.
Is it where I got that weird feeling from her? Because I got the immediate feeling was like, I don't know.
Like she's lying.
Well, no, I just immediately got this weird feeling from her, and the only time I got the weird feeling from her was when Die Hardman was like, it's been 10 years, hasn't it? You guys haven't seen each other? And she's like, he knows why I haven't aged. My body's still on the beach. And then she walks up to Sam, she's like, but Sam, you've aged. You look good. I'm like, I didn't like that. I didn't like that either, but that's not why I got the weird feeling. I don't know what it was. I just everything about that briefing felt like they were lying to Sam, like something they weren't telling some kind of truth. They were just kind of really hyping up the mission, like, oh, it's all for America and you should do it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And they were trying to they weren't telling him something,
right?
And I think he almost sensed it, and that's why he refused to do it at first,
right?
And I don't know what they do to pull him into it to actually do it, but yeah, I think I just got a really suspicious vibe.
Well, what if they've already got him? I mean, they already have the cuff on him, and he's just kind of says, well, what do you call this?
Well, yeah, and I think that probably plays into it too.
It implies that he can't take it off.
Yeah, and he can't really refuse.
Right.
All he can do is just kind of sulk about it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got bad vibes off of Amelie.
Well, I mean, you should get bad vibes off of a woman who cries blood.
For sure.
And I still haven't... Is that a chiral allergy? I don't know. Do you know? Who knows? Do we care?
That's one fuck of a chiral allergy, my dude.
I mean... And
talk about asymmetrical crying blood. That's asymmetrical shit. Fuck out of here with that fucking bullshit. She's a bad guy. You know what? I'm calling my shot. She's a fucking bad guy, and you can quote me on that.
Sam Wright, she's a bad guy. Amelie is a bad guy.
2019. Fucking
I don't
IRL 9:11 p.m. Pacific at 10 on October 2nd. or as you're listening to this, Monday, October 7th, you can fucking quote me on that. Amelie's a fucking bad guy. Don't at me.
I don't know if
unless I'm wrong, in which case you can at me. I don't give a shit anymore.
I don't know if she's a bad guy. Because it seems like there's like two Amelies. There's like the one that we see, and then there's the one that's on the beach. Because the one that's on the beach is wearing, I think she's wearing black, and she's about to, get on some kind of boat.
That boat. Like she's gray, but then the other one's wearing red. Like I don't know what the fuck's going on, but one of them's a bad guy.
One of them's a bad.
One of them's a baddie.
I'll shoot my shot on that one. One of them's bad.
Definitely
I don't care.
A baddie.
But on the whole, I don't think she's bad.
Real okay.
I'll be in opposition to you. I don't think she is completely bad. I think that she has
Cole.
Aspirations for power, but I don't think that she is bad. It's kind of like Ozymandias from like Watchmen.
Yeah. Okay. So Cole. I haven't done this in a long time, several years.
Yeah. Okay.
This is all dependent on us meeting each other in real life at some point in the future.
Okay.
Do you want to make a slap bet?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
All right. So if she's a bad guy, when we meet, I get to slap you in the face. And if she isn't a bad guy, you get to slap me in the face.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm down for that.
Unless he's going to be listening to this like, what the fuck are these chuckle fucks doing to my podcast?
What is this podcast evolved into? I brought this one weird Southern kid in.
It's evolved into slap bets and Nickelback fan episodes. Oh my god. Anyway.
For the record, once again, I did hold my ground on the Nickelback. Yes. So, Alessio, your beef is solely with Sam. I just said they did a good Metallica cover. That's all I'm saying.
I just said that because How You Remind Me is a great song that brings people together and creates connections and strands, and I can't completely write them off because of that.
My statement still stands. I will. This is the hill that I'm prepared to die on for sure. Okay. Yeah. If you need to use a Carol printer to print a ladder to get up to me to fight me, have at it. This is the hill I'm prepared to die on. Getting back to it, there is a theory that like we touched on earlier that she actually is Bridget. I don't know how much credence I give to that.
I don't. I think if not for the briefing trailer, I would have bought that more. But the briefing trailer made me feel like that's not the case.
That's the thing is that
because don't they bring Bridget up in the?
She says like let me carry out Mother's mission or help me carry out Mother's mission.
That's why I think, because I think Bridget is Amelie's mother, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think that through all of the dialogue, I think that they might be brother and sister. Amelie and Sam might be brother and sister.
It's a very, very, very valid.
Yeah. If that's wrong, if they're related in some other way, maybe, but I don't think that Amelie and Bridget are the same person. I don't. I think that Bridget probably died. I think that they have body, so she can't be on the beach, and they burned her body. And that's like, it's a very direct way to look at it, but I think I don't think they would show all of this stuff specifically. I think that's supposed to be like a very cut and dry thing, and then the direct relationship is meant to be a little bit foggy, but I don't think like they're the same person.
Kojima doesn't, it's a lot like Tarantino. He doesn't do a lot of things unintentionally. Like, everything has some kind of meaning when he shows it to you.
That's fair. I don't know. I feel like there might be more to it, but I don't buy the same person.
Well, on that last thing I just said, I have an idea that kind of ties back to the Red Tears, as well as the briefing trailer.
Okay.
I think that Amelie might have a crazy doom.
Oh, okay.
Like a really, really like high-powered doom, and that might be why the homo demons are keeping her there as well. Because, you remember them saying, they didn't miss a BT at all on their 3-year trek through the country. I think that Amelie is able to, sense BTs, see them, and not be harmed by them. Like, she is like a protective ward.
I almost wonder if Amelie, like, the doom is what, like, maybe Amelie, like, okay, this is going to be wild now, too. I'm full of wild ones today, folks. What if, like, Amelie is BB?
Okay, wait, hold on.
Like, what if that's her doom? Like, when she dies, she is reborn as something, and then that's what
Sam is carrying with. Oh. Don't get so attached to this one. No, I don't want to think about that. Oh, that's hurtful.
It's super hurtful.
If that one's right, we slap each other.
Okay,
At the same time. At the same time, if you're right about that one, I don't.
Yeah. Fuck me. I'm honest. I'm taking baseballs and throwing them up in the air, and I'm fucking slapping them out of the park. I'm calling my shots. You know what I mean? And one of them's gonna be right. Maybe, I don't know. Probably not. Who the fuck knows?
It's bound to be right.
Something. The more, like, the crazier you get, the more crazy things you say, the more likely you're gonna be right at one point. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's how we got in this predicament.
Exactly. That's how logic works. Man, shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you have any other theories or thoughts to provide, sir?
I mean, I think I unfortunately kind of ran at it with Amelie with Sam, just because I think they are just so connected.
Yeah.
Is Amelie technically the president of the UCA even in this hologram form, or are we saying that she is not?
I think so. I feel like probably.
Because, I mean, is Die Hardman the current, like, acting...
or is he, like, the vice president, maybe?
Is he, like, the president regent? I don't...
No idea. Like, I've got some theories on Die Hardman we'll talk about in our, like, supporting cast episodes. But...
For sure. Yeah, I mean, that's all I've got as far as my notes are concerned.
All right, yeah, that's all I've got too. And we got into it. We talked about a lot of shit. We set up two different slap bets, one of which, no matter what happens, we both lose. You know what I mean? So
we both get slapped, you know, or we both win.
Who knows? One of us might be into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who knows?
On
wink, wink,
that
nudge.
Note, thank you everybody for tuning in to this episode of Metal Gear Mondays. We will be back next week with another kind of character analysis episode. We're going to be talking again about our quote perceived villains. You know how I feel about this now. When we're going to be talking about kind of Cliff and Higgs and kind of those ideas, those people there. In the meantime, please write in about your thoughts, about your theories, just about anything. Like, just write in about Death Stranding, what you think, because we would love to have an outer op where we discuss your thoughts and theories before Death Stranding comes out. We have the 4th November is the Monday before Death Stranding. We would love to publish an outer op on that day, just to prep everybody for Death Stranding. So please write in, contact at metalgearmondays.com, or you can actually go to our website, www.metalgearmondays.com, and we have a contact link there. You can visit and click and type in and send your thoughts and delightful things. So check that out. Please write us in. We want to hear from you. Other than that, again, metalgearmondays.com. You can find all of the shows, all of the things we're going to talk about now. You can also go to facebook.com/Metal Gear Mondays and like us there. Twitter is @Metal Gear Monday. If you'd like to support us financially, you can go to patreon.com/Metal Gear Mondays and donate as little as $1. We'll get you into our Discord where we are discussing Death Stranding and a bunch of other fun stuff in there. So please join us in there. You can also go to bit.ly/MGM store if you want to buy a t-shirt or a mug or something like that. And then you can also follow us on Instagram @Metal Gear Mondays as well. Cole, where can they find you on the internet?
So you can find me on Twitter @IamColeDuncan, and you can find me on Instagram @Subterranean Homesick Brews.
You sure can. You can find me most places as Sanjul. That's SANJUUL. You can also find me on YouTube, my personal YouTube at bit.ly/Sam-does-a-thing. So please check that out. I guess that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
I
have a way.
So, you what?
I have a way.
You have a way?
I have a way.
Cole, I know you do have a way, don't you?
Go.
Lean with it, rock with it, my friend. Let's do it.
So, Sam, I'm going to give the listeners a peek behind the proverbial screen here. So, I'm currently sitting in my apartment, right?
Yeah.
Which one could argue is a box, but it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
It's like
a very large human box.
It's about as flammable as a box. I'll tell you that much.
It sure is about as flammable as a box.
But I'm sitting here in my apartment, and I noticed in the last episode that I had some pretty insane echo, and hopefully, I've done something about that in this episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
how you did that?
Well, see, so what I did is I took my mic and I put it on a nightstand, and then I took a pillow, right, and I, brought it with me into the kitchen, and then I found this container.
It's a weird place for a pillow, Cole. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, no, don't question my methods. I don't question yours.
All right.
So
I am horizontal on a bed right now, so I can't really say anything.
So I took the pillow into the kitchen, and then I found a receptacle.
A receptacle,
it was cube. It was a cube, if you will.
Is it made out of any particular material, or?
It was made out of cardboard, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, some cardboard, and I took a knife and I cut the sides out.
Ooh, the first cut is the deepest, they say.
Oh, baby, I know. And I then opened this cubic cardboard receptacle, and I shoved the pillow into it. And then I went back to my bedroom, and I put this contraption, I don't really know what to call it yet, around my mic.
Sure.
And then I started, to talk into the mic and do, voice testing to make sure that there wasn't too much of an echo. Yeah. And as I was looking at it, you know what I realized, Sam?
Well, did you come up with a name for the contraption?
I did.
What would that be?
I did. Sam, I think it's just a box.
Oh, shit.
I think it's just a box.
Good night, everybody.
Just a box.